A very good morning. My name is Alok and I welcome you once again to Network Nuts YouTube channel. It's really hot here. By saying hot, I'm referring to the weather. I'm not referring to Eva Mendes here. Okay guys? Yes, though she's also hot, but here I'm specifically referring to the weather in Delhi. It's really hot. Okay, so what's cool here? The cool is the video. So what's here in this video? In this video, I'm going to show you how to configure FTP with a TLS and an SSL connection, or we call it FTPS, secure FTP. Okay, we all know what is FTP. FTP is used to transfer your files, but the problem with the FTP is that it does all the communication in the plain text and it can be captured very easily. Let me give you one example here. I have my trusted virtual machine here for you. Okay, come back my virtual machine. I'm giving my password. Will not tell you the password. Oh, wrong password. So better focus on the password. Here it is. So I have my VM here. I hope you are able to see it. Now that's fine. And I had just installed the FTP here. So FTP is installed here. That's great. I just start the service vs FTPD restart. It's a normal FTP. I had done nothing here. So the FTP is running here. Now I go to my another machine, the base machine here, and I'll just make it like this so that you will be easy to see. Yo, that's great. Sometimes I do great things. Oh yeah. And I hit my machine here, linuxstorage.example.com. I give my logon name Alok. I give the password. I will not share the password. Look here. I'm able to log in with the FTP, and if you see here, if you have noticed here, it says SSL not available. So whatever I'm doing now using the FTP, every communication is being transferred in plain text, whether my logon name or my data, and it can be captured very easily. So what is the solution? The solution is, let's configure FTP with TLS and or SSL, whatever, and we call it FTPS. And by configuring the FTPS, it means I'm using the same encryption that is being used in online transactions or banking or shopping, and the security will be applied to both your logins as well as your data. But the point is that you need a FTP client that should be aware of the SSL. So you can just go to the Google and try to download some FTP SSL client. I already had downloaded the FTP SSL client here for you. So what's the steps? Let's start with the steps. Right now the FTP is configured, but the FTP is using the plain authentication or simple text authentication, and is transferring everything in plain text. I don't want this. I want it a secure FTP, FTPS. So the first thing first is that you need to have a certificate. Obviously those who had done RHCSS or 333 module of Red Hat, or those who know about the certificates and the CA, will be comfortable with this, and those who are not, just cram the command. Hoo-ha, very simple. So first thing first, I need to create a certificate, and I need to attach that certificate with my FTP server. If you have a CA configured in your company, you can use that CA, or you can have a self-signed certificate. By issuing or by allowing by configuring FTPS, what it actually does, it adds the TLS and the SSL to the normal FTP port. That is the same port number 21 will be added with the SSL and the TLS security. So let's start it. Enough of talking now. Okay, here I am assigning a self-signed certificate to my FTP. I can use OpenSSL request -x509 standard -nodes -days. Days, you can specify n number of days. I specify 365, means the certificate will be valid for 365 days or 1 year. New key, as I'm generating a key, new key using RSA encryption, the size of the key, and then key out, the name of the key. Say I give, and it is One more thing, it's always better to go in the respective folder. So means if I am configuring a self-signed certificate for the FTP, you should better be in the etc vs ftpd folder to make things easier and to avoid any SE Linux complications if you have enabled the SE Linux here. So here I have enabled it. So again I give the command after going to etc vs ftpd. I give the command open SSL request -x509 -nodes -days, n number of days or any number of days -days -new key RSA, the key and the size 201024 -key out, sorry it's really hot, vsftpd.pem. It can be any name and the output file is say vsftpd.pem because I'm using a self-signed certificate, so I'm repeating the same name here. That's great. It will ask you for a couple of things like country name and all the things. So here I'm giving country code as in India, state as Delhi, locality as say Southex, organization name obviously Network Nuts. Cheers to Network Nuts, yo. Organization, here I give IT as my section. Common name can be anything. I can give the machine name. So in my case the machine name is Linux storage .example.com or whatever. Email address can be anything. I use a very simple practice of assigning the root for the Linux storage.example.com. That's great. So by assigning this command, by giving this command, what happened is that I'll show you. It has created a vsftpd.pem file. That's great. Now what next? I just need to configure the FTP just to use this file. That's the idea. That's the idea. So I open up my conf file here, vsftpd.conf, and it's very simple. I just need to tell the FTP to please use this file, and obviously need to configure some extra parameters. Go to the bottom. There, here it is. I'm in the bottom. So I'll just mention it here for you. Just a moment. I just say for FTPS, and you write here, say SSL enable. Yes, you need to write it, or if it is there, just make sure that it is activated, not commented. Allow anon SSL. Yes means I'm forcing the anonymous guys or those who are logging with anonymous, they should be using SSL also, and both their and their data will also be secured or encrypted. Force local data SSL. Yes means the data will also be secured using the SSL. Force underscore local underscore data underscore SSL. Yes, and I can also give force local logins also. Means if I am using a login name, a valid login name which appears on my server, those logins will also be secured. That's great. Force underscore local underscore logins underscore SSL is equal to yes. SSL TLS version 1. Yes. SSL version 2. It's whether you want to like let the local users to use SSL version 2 or not. It doesn't. I can make it yes, no issues. I can also make it SSL version 3. Yes, and then just tell where the file is, where your certificate file is. So RSA cert file is equal to etc vsftpd vsftpd.pem, or whatever location where you had kept your file. If you remember, I had kept the file here, so I'm pointing to the same location. That is it. So I had just enabled the SSL. I had allowed SSL connection for anonymous guys. I had forced the data to be encrypted using SSL. I had forced that local users or those who have got a valid login name on the servers are also being forced to use SSL. I am using the TLS version 1, SSL version 2 and 3, and here I had specified the path of my self-signed certificate. In this case, just save and come out. Hopefully everything should work fine. Restart, and never forget to put it under check config if it is a production server, guys. That's great. Check it with netstat. I can use a grep here, and I'm smart. Hoo-ha, working. Okay, here, so I just configured the FTPS on this machine. Let's try what difference it makes when I had establishing a connection from the different machine. I'll just make it slightly bigger. Now here you need to use FTP SSL. It's a FTP client using SSL, so you need to download it. If you are using Ubuntu, you can easily give sudo apt-get install FTP SSL, or if you are using Fedora and other versions, please feel free to download the repository and download the package then. So here I am using FTP SSL, and I give linux storage.example.com. here it is. I give my login name, I give the password. If you see here it is. It's using the encryption. That's great. If you remember earlier it was SSL not supported. Now it is specifically showing me that the connection is being made using the SSL. That's great. That makes sense. And give the password. Hoo-ha! That's great. I'm successfully logged in. That means what? That means I had just configured, or you have just configured FTPS. So now you can be sure that whatever you are communicating over the FTP, whether your login names, your passwords, your data, everything is securely protected perfectly using TLS and SSL. So that is something that is not being taught in any of the standard curriculums worldwide, guys, worldwide. So I hope you liked the video. I'll just go by here again. And one more thing, make sure if you have got a SE Linux enabled, so you need to make sure that the boolean is on FTP home directory. If this boolean was off, you will be getting an error while you are doing a connection here. Okay, so we just learned how to configure a FTPS on this hot day in Delhi, India. So thank you guys, thank you once again. See you again soon with more tips and tricks. Till then, ciao. God bless. Stop the video now.